Just put this session on the record. Okay. So in the last session, we were talking about this introduction to web and social analytics. Right. So as I told you, most of the times you will see from the subject, you will see most of the points are theoretical. Okay. So we will try to see some more points which might be required to understand the coming concepts, whatever is going to be required here as well as in the lab. We will try to just discuss those things here, right? So till now we talked about basic things and we talked about all these points. So web and social media, need of using analytics, we talked in the last session. And technical requirements, this one we talked about, right? Social media environment, impact of social media on different businesses and market. How to leverage social media for better services, this particular point we have discussed. And some analytics platforms like starting with Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, right? I have given you some 8 to 10 examples of current analytics platforms which can be very useful. And I also told you which of these analytics platforms actually are used more as compared to some. So we just tried to compare them, and we have seen that okay, there are some analytics platforms like Tableau and Power BI is actually, they are actually the leaders in whenever it comes to analytics. And it's not like that there are only these two analytics platforms. There are others also. Even in case of what we can say Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is also one of the tools which can be used for analytics, right? So as I already discussed, when we will try to finish some theory part first, and then definitely I will try to show you the comparison with practical hands-on between Microsoft Excel and Tableau, for example, right? I will show you a simple example which will help you to understand why we cannot work only with Microsoft Excel, why there is a need for some tools like uh, Tableau or Power BI, or why there is a need for a specific analytics tool. We will see that with some hands-on example also, right? But as a part of a system, we need to complete this particular theory part also, and that's why I will go with the I will go with this flow only, right? So let's try to discuss the remaining point. So from here, okay, this point also we have discussed open and licensed platform. Now we will try to talk about this particular point, choosing the right specification and optimal solution. So what should be the criteria or what should be the points one should think about whenever you are going for choosing some tools, some analytical platform for your business or maybe for your company, right? So if you are working on some project, or if your organization is working on some project and you want to perform analytics, because without analytics you can say no business is going to work. It can be any domain, right? Analytics is going to be required. So the question is now which analytics platform one should go for. That means how to choose the right specification and optimal solution if you want to go for some analytics platform. So what are the essential criteria? What are the essential points one should take into consideration before choosing any analytics platform? Because if you go and if you see in the market, there are a lot of tools which are available which can do the same thing, which can perform analysis, right? But what we want is we want the best according to our business. We want the best analytics platform according to our need, and it should be in our budget, right? It should not happen that okay, we are going for some best tools in the market, but we are not actually, or that might not be affordable for us, right? So we might have to face some losses in the business. So this should not happen. So what are the basic criteria? What are the essential criteria that one should take care, right? Or what are the criteria that companies think about whenever they want to go for some analytics platform? So which point they think about? So choosing the right specification and optimal solution. This is the point in that regard we'll try to discuss now. Okay, so choosing right specification and optimal solution. So I will just try to focus on this particular point now. Choosing right specification and optimal solution. So in terms of analytics, we will try to talk about that in maybe, and you can relate this particular term to any business, right? And other point is optimal solution. So that optimal solution means what? It should be very useful in your case to grow your business, right? To increase the profit. or to increase the number of customers, right? So this is what we will try to talk about now, and let's see what are those criteria. So again, in general, there are number of possibilities, right? It depends on business to business. But as I told you that we will try to discuss in general what can be the essential criteria to help you choose. Maybe your as we are talking about this particular subject, social web and social word is there, web word is there, analytics word is there, right? So we will try to talk about all those criteria as essential criteria to help you choose your web analytics solution, right? So uh, there can be number of them. You will see. For example, let me just list out some of them and discuss one by one, right? So again, there might be a question in your mind: why choosing a web analytics solution is an important step, right? Why one should give that much of importance to choosing an analytics solution for a business, right? So it's like if you think maybe in addition to human and financial costs, which is associated with any new solution, this particular thing, choosing optimal solution, will also determine the integrity and the relevance of any future decision you will make for your business, right? So we know that this analytics or analysis is really very very useful for making the decisions. And every business, you talk about any business, the future of business actually depends on how what kind of a decisions we make, right? So decision making is actually dependent on these analytics tools. These analytics tools like Tableau, Power BI, all these tools, they help you to make the decisions, to make better decisions for the business. And if the decisions are good, the future of a business is good, right? And that's why there is very much importance to choosing the optimal solution, which is actually required for a particular business, right? In whatever domain you might be working. So choosing a web analytics solution can also be seen as a committing to a long-term project, right? So, and once your web analytics solution is working, it's in place, and people have become used to working with it, it often becomes difficult to change people's habit, right? If they are using, if your customers are using the same solution, or if people are using the same solution, obviously we get habited to that particular thing. We get used to that particular thing, right? So before you go for any business, definitely analytics is going to be important. That's why choosing the best solution in terms of web analytics or analytics is going to be very, very important part, right? Obviously, first point, if I want to list out here for choosing the best analytics solution, I can list out this particular point. Connectivity. Connectivity is really very, very important because many times you will see that there are different analytics tools which might not support what we can say, a particular business they might not support in a proper way. So connectivity might be one of the main reasons uh, for that kind of a problem, right? So talking about choosing the right specification and optimal solution for the business, this particular point, connectivity is always going to be there. It might be any type of tool. You just name a tool, connectivity is going to play a very very important role in choosing the right solution, right? So web analytics, if you talk about web analytics, must form part of a general approach to optimize and develop your digital strategy, right? Obviously, web analytics is going to make use of the digital data which you will get from your social media, right? Social media accounts. So the web analytics tool must therefore be easy to integrate into your environment. So whatever the environment you are working, what in that environment, the tool which you are trying to purchase, that particular web analytics tool should be easy to integrate into the current working environment, right? So if your data is to be shared with other systems in your company, for example, you might be knowing about something like CRM, customer relationship management. Like this, there are different systems in different organizations, right? So, but in particular, if you talk about CRM, because this is a common thing in all the organizations, you will see. Maybe it's a institution, or maybe it is some another company which is running some kind of a business, right? So if your data is to be shared with the systems like CRM, customer relationship management, or maybe if your analysis are limited to measuring activity on your website, the solutions capabilities of performing these tasks will become increasingly important, right? So if your solution, if your tool is able to uh, integrate with the current environment easily, right? For example, you are using CRM, so it should be really easy to integrate your tool with the current customer relationship management, and you should be able to see the results very easily, right? So this particular point is going to be very important in that manner. Connectivity. Your tool should be very much easy to integrate with the current environment, right? That facility it should provide. And that's why I will try to name this particular point, or try to leave this particular point as a first point, which is going to be very important whenever you are talking about choosing the right specification and optimal solution for the business. That is connectivity. Next point can be, obviously, whenever there is a business, everything should be professional, right? So there are different services which each of the tools generally provide, and there are dozens of services, many of them they provide actually. So second point I will name it as professional services. Now, why professional services is an important point whenever we talk about choosing the right specification and optimal solution. So we recommend that you rely on and contact your chosen solutions professional services, right? So whenever you talk about business, we most of the times rely on some third party companies who provide us services, right? And services in terms of professional services I'm talking about. So we rely on that particular contact which is chosen for as a solutions professional services, maybe during first year or second year or first 6 months after purchasing that particular tool or a solution, right? So not doing so for fear of spending too much money will cost error in the long term, right? Suppose now you might be knowing whenever we go and we try to purchase some new tool, right? So many times what happens is for first few months or first few years, maybe for 6 months or 1 year, they will provide you some service, right? And they will charge you for that service. If that tool, if you are purchasing for your business, they will charge you. And what happens sometimes is, maybe because of the fear of spending too much money on that tool, sometimes what we do is we actually do not go for that service, right? So many times you will realize that not going for those kind of services will will also cause you loss. That might cause you loss, right? So that's why I'm saying that this particular point is also very important. Along with the tools, many companies they provide you professional services. So one should go for those services at least for few days, maybe for few months or few years of the starting of that service, right? So because who knows what kind of a problem might come in the future. So that's why this is very necessary. Then, third point I will try to list down here is maybe after connectivity and professional services. So, third point obviously will be dependent on data storage, because without data, we have seen till now data is very important, which is the oil for everything. So, I will talk about this particular point, data storage infrastructure. This particular point is going to be very important whenever we talk about choosing the perfect tool, right? Infrastructure. Right. So data storage infrastructure. Now why it's important whenever we talk about choosing the right specification, optimal solution for the business. So some solutions offer to host your web analytics tool internally, right? During the organization, within the organization only, right? So these are the significant advantages in terms of flexibility. Uh, However, there might be some disadvantages also, such as flexibilities are associated with the cost of infrastructure, application support, and updates, which for many companies can become very sky high. So yes, definitely, whenever we talk about data storage, there are going to be issues like installation and updations and all those things that are going to come into picture. And whenever there are this kind of things, obviously there will be some charges these companies are going to ask you for, right? So with outsourcing, the partial loss of control and increased dependency is compensated by simplifying tasks, since the publisher is responsible for infrastructure and maintenance. So you should be very much clear about this particular point in advance, right? So maybe there might be some contract kind of a thing which will happen between the parties, between your organization and the third party which is going to provide you the service after you purchase their tool. So you should be very much clear about this particular point. Are they charging any money for that data storage updations, data storage, or infrastructure? Are they going to ask you any money for that, right? Or is there a need for you to purchase new storage, right? That so many times what happens is many companies they need to purchase cloud storage. So you might be knowing you might be knowing that the companies like Amazon Web Services or other companies like Google Cloud Platform, Oracle Cloud. There are different cloud platforms. Maybe the best one is Microsoft Azure. So you need to actually pay money for that storage, whatever you are using, or for the services you are making use of. So is there any kind of a thing here, and what is that? So one should be very much clear about that because data is going to increase for sure, right, in future. So you should worry about data structure, data storage infrastructure, and what are the services these companies actually provide under this one, right? So this can be a third point for choosing the optimal solution for the business as an analytics tool. Then fourth point, if I want to list down here is the legal requirements. There should be respect of the legal requirements, right? Both the parties should respect whatever is actually decided uh, in the contract, right? So respecting the legal requirements is going to be very important point here. Okay. Later on, we will talk about something called as SLA. You might have heard about SLA, which is an important point in most of the businesses, right? So maybe here talking about this particular point, your service provider is obliged to show that they respect the rules or the legislation in force relating to data collection, the nature of the data collected, and maybe the protection of the data, and so on. Right. The service provider must provide information on the type of data that you can collect. Right. So different publishers have a very strict clause on the information that different data collection activities live on their server. So uh, talking about this particular point, if you are using some third party tool, obviously it should be very much clear in advance only what type of a data your customers will be able to access, right? Or what type of a data these people who are providing you the service, what type of access they are going to provide, and what type of restrictions are going to be there. All those legal requirements should be respected on both the parties, from both the sides. So it should not be like that there is some kind of a fraud which will happen in future. So for that, this point should always going to be there, right? Maybe the best example is going to be data protection. So what is done for data protection? Protection from the third party tool from which you are going to purchase a tool. So what are they doing, right? So that particular thing should be clear in advance only. Then next point is going to be obviously a real-time analysis, right? So currently we have seen that okay, there are different tools which are there, and you can make use of all the tools for data analytics. But are they providing you any real-time data analysis? Is it possible for those tools to provide you real-time analysis, right? So many times what happens is we try to do the analysis based on historical data, the data which is actually stored on data warehouse, right? Which is historical data. So we have already seen what is data warehouse, which stores historical data. That's what many times happens. But is there any kind of a service which is provided by the tool, the web analytics tool, which will help you to analyze your data in web analytics in real time? I can say, for example, suppose if you want to do sentimental analysis, depending on the data and which is real time data on Twitter, on the social media, on Twitter social media, you want to do the sentimental analysis for some business, for some product. Right. So is it possible and is it efficient with the help of that particular tool? So if it is doing it, that's okay. But if it is very much necessary for your business, then you should ask for the same thing, right? For those people. Okay. So if it is done, no problem. But if you require that, that should be taken care by the third party, right? From which you are actually trying to purchase this particular tool. So even if few companies have flexible structure in place to respond straight away and take full advantage of what real-time data has to offer, solutions capability to process that data in real time, maybe sometimes it may be an important criteria for the selection, right? So whether they provide you this kind of facility to get the analysis in real time, is it possible for them? You just go and check it and make sure that if it is a need, it should be there, right? Then After that, next point can be like, are they going to provide facilities for documentation? Right? Is there any facility for documentation? Uh, is it going to make use of different languages? Is it possible to make use of different languages? And are they going to provide any support for that? Right? So all these things are also going to be very important whenever we go for analytics too, right? So having access to documentation which is available in customers language is actually very important factor behind successful implementation. So it depends what type of a business actually you run. So the different configurations of the tool and its daily use actually dependent on what type of a business it is. So as far as the support is concerned, you should always pay attention to the level of service provided. That is nothing but what is the availability, what is the responsiveness, and what we can say, what is the expertise. So whenever there is a problem, in some cases, are they responding within less time, right? And are you getting the solution all the times or maximum number of times? So that kind of support can be there, right? So all these things obviously should be checked in such a way that it should not affect your business later on, right? Then the next point of documentation and language, I can list out it as cost, right? So cost. What are the costs they are going to ask you? So maybe what is the present cost, and is there going to be increase in the cost in future? So I will talk about cost as a present cost and future cost, right? So you must be able to anticipate the cost associated with your solution for a period of at least 3 years. Most of the tools you will see that they will ask you payment in advance, right? So are is it possible for you as a business person, is it possible for you to anticipate all that cost at least for 3 years of period? Is it possible? Because the cost associated with the solutions normally include support costs, right? Whereas invoicing traffic volume is repeated on a regular basis. So in any case, the web analytics solution which you purchase may be modular with different features that are available at an extra charge. So whenever they try to add some features, obviously the cost is going to increase. So you should also think about what will be the cost in future and what can be the increase in that. What is the possible increase? If you are able to get all these things in place, or if you are able to get an idea about this particular thing, obviously it is going to help you to adjust everything, right, and plan everything in advance. That's why this cost, that is present cost, and the future cost is going to play a very important role in choosing the best solution or best tool for your business. Okay. Then obviously there will be availability, or I can say supplier availability is going to be one of the points which is going to be taken into consideration whenever we are going to select a web analytics tool for the business. So before committing to any solution on the long term, you also need to use or you need to be sure about publisher's past experience, right, and general state of the company. So you should view your relationship with your solution provider as a partnership rather than as a simple relationship of a client and provider, because your solution will assist and accompany you for a period of several years. It depends on how many number of customers or how many number of businesses you have. So that can be a long term relationship. So supplier availability for how many years? It should be very long term. They should be in a position to provide the services for long period, right? So that should be there. So that particular thing should be make sure that whether they are available for the long period or not. And one more last point I can add is features. What type of features they actually provide, right? So generally what happens is many tools they provide number of features. So what we feel is that okay, if that particular tool provides a lot of features, that is good. It is not right actually. Suppose even if they are providing hundreds of features but none of the feature is suitable for your business, then what's the use of that tool for your business, right? So any publisher obviously with a serious product will of course have a wide range of features to offer, right? When choosing a web analytics solution, think about the objectives to be reached and the variables and metrics which are essential to your project, your business, and closely examine how each solution can provide you with the results that you are going to expect. So features you need to check obviously for all those tools, and those features should be uh, very much useful for your business. You need to check because At the end of the day, it's going to be like for your business, for your problem statement, right? You are going to make use of that tool. So, are the features provided by that particular supplier or the company, is it going to help you? You must go and you must check, right? And these are some of the points one can actually list down whenever thinking about choosing the right specification and optimal solution for the business. And along with this, obviously, there are some other points like uh, uh, the third party from which you are going to purchase the tool. Are they allowing you to test the tool, right? Maybe what I can say is, are they allowing you to test the solution? So test, are they allowing you to test it, right? So one should not actually hesitate to ask any solution provider if you can test their solution, right? If they are allowing you, then that is good, right? You can go and you can actually try to test that particular solution before purchasing it, or before starting to make use of that. And in advance only, if they are saying that okay, we are not going to allow you, then one should not go for those kind of tools actually, right? If they are not allowing you, that means they are not sure about their tool itself. So you must go and you must actually ask them a question: can I test that particular tool? Can I test the solution before going for choosing the right specification and optimal solution in terms of web analytics tool for any business, right? And obviously, as I said, that we will talk about something called as SLA. This is also one of the main important points. It comes whenever we talk about choosing the right specification and optimal solution for the business. So what is SLA actually? SLA stands for service level agreement, right? So only consider providers of solutions who are ready to legally commit to their performance and service levels, and who are in a position to provide details on their contingency plans in the event of extreme solutions, right? Extreme situations, I can say. So SLA stands for actually service level agreement. So there must be some agreement between both the parties, right? So if this happens, what can be the action taken by both the parties, and all those things should be in place. So there should be a SLA kind of a thing in advance, right? Before going and actually purchasing that particular tool. So these 9 points are important. Along with that, I have added two more. And like this, you can have in any tool. You go everywhere. I can add one more point, and that is going to be data ownership, right? Data ownership is going to play a very important role. This particular point is always going to be there whenever you talk about any web analytics tool, right? So you need to find out if it is possible to retrieve any data collected by the publisher, right? So any data collected by them with the help of that tool, is it possible to actually retrieve that? Because some publishers may hold on to the data for a limited period of time. So they will just keep the data for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 6 months, right? So keep in mind that the tool must above all meet your analytics, whatever the analytics objective you set. All those tools should meet all those objectives and allow you to monitor your KPIs. So we haven't discussed about KPIs. KPI actually stands for key performance indicators, right? Whenever we talk about any business, we decide about KPIs. It is nothing but key performance indicators. So your analytics tool, whatever you choose for your business, they should help you in uh, in increasing the efficiency, and they should help you to achieve the key performance indicators, right? They should increase this value, the value of this KPIs. So they should help you to achieve all these things, right? So with all these points, I can say that these are some of the points which one should think of before going for purchasing any web analytics tool, right? So I will just try to go and read them once again. First one we discussed about connectivity. Then the next one is professional services, right? Then the next one is data storage infrastructure. This one should be taken into consideration. Then the legal requirements, real-time analysis, whether the tool is able to access the real-time data or not. After that, whether it provides some facilities for documentation in different languages, and what kind of support they actually provide. Okay, this can be one point. And then cost. So whenever we talk about costs, obviously present as well as the future cost is going to come into picture, and the availability of the supply. This is also very important point. And what type of features they provide. Are those features going to help my business or not? One should go and want to check that particular thing also. Make sure about this particular point also. And whether they are allowing us to test the solution, test that particular tool before uh, before going and making use of that particular solution or web analytics tool for our business, right? This point also is very very important. And then service level agreement, and the last one is data ownership, right? For how many days they are going to store the data, that publisher is going to store the data, and how many days you can access that data or retrieve that data. So these are some of the points which will come into consideration whenever we talk about choosing the right specification and optimal solution, right? So as I told you, see, this complete unit is complete theoretical. Each and every point is theoretical, right? But regarding this, maybe in the next class, or maybe in, I think we have session tomorrow. So what I will do is I will try to compare two tools. So Microsoft Excel, all of you are aware about Microsoft Excel. If you know what is that, I will compare this particular tool with another analytics tool, and that is nothing but Tableau. I could have chosen any other thing, but Tableau is the leader, I can say. It is really good, and it is really very very important to, one should have a really one should have an idea about this particular tool if you are thinking about working in maybe data analytics or business analytics, or maybe in future as a data scientist or machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, and so on. So this actually helps you to get the idea about your data, somewhat very important but very easy to understand. So what I will do is I will try to compare Microsoft Excel with Tableau with some hands-on example. I will try to do the same task with this one and with this one, right? And try to show you which one takes lot of time or more time for doing the same task, and which one is easy. So just to with reference to this particular unit, as we talked about all these theoretical points, so I will just try to give you an idea about that. Maybe in the tomorrow session, right? So we'll talk about that. So this is all about what I wanted to discuss about this particular unit, introduction to web and social analytics, right? So moving further, what I will do is I will try to start discussion on this particular thing, relevant data and its collection. So here, this particular unit also revolves around the term data itself, right? That's why I talked about data initially in our first session itself. I talked about data, right? So we have seen that it's a raw material, and information is the thing which is very very important, which is process data. So we will see how relevant data and its collection is important and how it is done. So whenever I talk about data, now see, there might be you might have heard about different terms which we generally make use of whenever we talk about projects. So without data, no project can work, right? So the first and the foremost thing in any project, you will see that it is going to be data ingestion. Data ingestion, or I can say, how are we going to fetch the data? So data ingestion, or I can say data fetching, or in simple words, I can say data collection, right? So how is it going to be done? Are you going to make it up some tools, right? Or are you going to make it up some languages, some techniques to fetch the data? Because data fetching is going to be the first step before starting work on any project, right? So how this is going to be done? This is very very important. So now see, before talking about different ways to fetch the data, for example, Tableau can fetch the data from different sources. It can fetch the data from some database, from some CSV file, maybe from Excel file, from text file, maybe from flat file, right? So there are different sources, I can say. So let me first of all talk about which are the different sources from which the data can be collected. Then we will talk about relevant data. So first of all, I will talk about which are the sources from which data can be collected. So first of all, client may send you data in different formats. Client may send you data in batches, right? So what do you understand by this in batches? It means they will not send the complete data in one go. What they will do is they will put the data. Suppose this is server, okay, this is server. So what happens is in real time, client will give you access on one location on server, and they will say that, okay, I am going to put my data. Suppose this is one CSV file, another CSV file, third CSV file. So what they are going to do is they are going to send their data into batches, not complete data at once, right? So your source can be in batches, your source can be coming into batches. So What is your task? So as an analyst, sometimes it might be your task to trace the data, to collect the data from all those sources, and that is going to be data ingestion. So in batches, first source can be the data in batches. Second source can be data might come or via streaming, right? So you might have heard about online streaming. So many people might be using Netflix, right? So live streaming is there. For example, if you talk about current situations of cricket matches going on, IPL is going on. So live streaming is there for all those cricket matches. So sometimes it might happen that the data might be coming via streaming. So that can be one source for collecting the data, right? Or data might be coming with the help of some another source which might use some techniques like use of messaging techniques, right? There are different messaging techniques. Some of you might have heard about it, or you might not be knowing about it, so don't worry. But yes, that can be one of the source. Use of messaging can be one of the source to collect the data. Okay, so if some of you have heard about Kafka, you might be knowing about Kafka is one of the messaging techniques, right? From which data can be collected. There is something called as Kafka, there is something called as JMS, and so many are there, right? So those we have heard about Hadoop Edgebase Hive. So Kafka is actually sometimes a part of Hadoop environment. So it is one of the messaging techniques which can be a source of data for many businesses, right? Or sometimes the data source can be a service like FTP. So you might be knowing, right? FTP is like file transfer protocol. So file transfer protocol. So there are, and you might be knowing which port number is actually used for FTP, right? Anyone? Can you tell me just the port number which is used for FTP? You might be knowing HTTP, FTP. What is the port number for FTP? Can you tell me? Very simple thing, very basic thing. I think as an engineering student, you are aware about that. FTP, what is the port number? Anyone? Because that can be one of the source for getting the data for analytics, right? Those who are there, can you tell me what is port number for FTP? And let me know if I am not audible. Just let me know. Yes, at least let me know either yes, no, you know it, you do not know it. Don't worry.
21.
Yeah, yeah. So right, Priyansi, that is right. Not 20 actually, Nabil. Nabil, it's not 20, it's 21, right? Port number 21. So FTP, file transfer protocol, can be one of the sources to get your data, right? So you might be knowing FTP 21, right? So there is something called as SSH secured shell. If you are using Linux operating systems, you might be knowing this secured shell. So which is port number 20. You might be knowing about HTTP port number 80. SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol, with the help of which we are able to send the mail and receive the mail, port number 24, and so on, right? So FTP can be one of the sources to get your data collected from. Okay. After FTP, there can be some services like some API services, right? Like REST API. Here also you might be knowing about different APIs, right? And I hope you know about what is API, application programming interface. So REST APIs can be the sources of data many times. You need to collect the data from APIs, right? So that's why we actually discuss all those points, discussing talking about why it's very important uh, to choose the right specification and the optimal solution for the business, because choosing the right tool for your business is very important. If your data is coming from any of the sources, you need to check whether your tool which you are going to make is for analytics, is that tool going to provide you the service to trace the data from that particular source? Is it providing that particular service? Yes or no, right? So that's really very necessary. So it is very necessary to check whether that particular tool is helping you to choose the data, to collect the data from that, from all the sources or not. For example, see what happens is in some business the source can be a database. In some business the source can be a REST API, FTP, something like that. So you need to check for all these things, right? After that, REST API, application programming interface. Obviously, databases are going to be the sources, right? So we already talked about what is a database. Like we talked about online transaction processing, in which real-time fetching of the data is the feature which is needed to fetch the data from the database, because database is the thing which is used to store real-time data. So databases can be one of the sources from which data will be collected with the help of those tools. Right? As we are talking about data collection, it can be one of the sources. And after that, databases, obviously, there comes data warehouses also, or data warehouse. Data warehouse is also one of the source from which there will be a need to fetch the data, and many times it will be actually, because for analytics, most of the times you will see data will be fetched from data warehouse, and we have already seen that data warehouse is actually a database only. It is only the only difference is that data warehouse is having a very huge size and it stores historical data, right? So we have seen the example as OLAP, online analytical processing. It is an example of data warehouse. So yes, it can be one of the sources to fetch the data, to collect the data. And obviously, there is a term called as ETL pipeline. Anyone any idea about what is ETL? What you understand by ETL? Again, you might have come across this particular term, ETL in your other subjects. Any idea, anyone, what is ETL or ETL stands for? As we are talking about analytics here, so this term is again important. What is ETL? Can anyone tell me? At least the full form. Okay, okay, Manu. Manu is saying extract, transform, and load. Right. So ETL, that is right. Extract, transform, and load. So many times we use SQL kind of a languages to do ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading. So again, if you talk about ETL, then there are different tools which can be used for ETL. For example, the tools like you might have heard about something like Informatica. Informatica is a tool which is an ETL tool. There is a tool called as SAS, Statistical Analysis System, which is again an ETL tool. And there is a tool like Pervasive, which is again an ETL tool. And there are a number of them. Okay, again, there's a huge list for all the ETL tools. So what happens is, uh, these ETL tools or ETL pipeline can be a source of the data for your business, right? So these are some of the sources which I tried to list down here, right? Starting from data coming into batches, right? Data coming from via streaming, data coming via messaging techniques like Kafka, coming via FTP, coming via API, databases, data warehouse, and ETL pipelines, right? And other sources like if it's a big data, obviously there are different frameworks which will come into picture like Hadoop. There is something called as HBase, Hive, Peak. Again, these can be the sources, right? So yes, it all depends on what type of a business actually, or what type of project it is, and what type of a data you are going to need for that particular project or business. So it all depends on that. So your tool should be able to provide that particular facility to fetch the required data. Right? So that's why I just tried to talk about this particular term, collection and data. So try to talk about data collection, and data collection will be done on the basis of different sources of the data which are available, right? So that's why we just try to talk about all those sources, and one should and have an idea. And again, one should be really clear that it is not it is not that these are the only data sources which I have listed down here. There can be different data sources, and the sources of data are changing day by day. There are different sources of data which are coming into picture. It all depends on the business. So if you talk about social media, right? So social media data is again one of the sources to get your data. So as I talked about streaming, so in some cases the data might be coming via streaming. So yes, that can be one of the important source which is which actually which should be used to collect the data from. Right. So yes, we try to talk about those sources which we require to collect the data from the sources. Right. So we just talk about the first point, that is sources. Now, talking about this particular unit, relevant data and its collection. So let's try to talk about this particular point, participating with people-centric approach. So why this? Not try to concentrate people-centric approach. So why are we trying to talk about this particular point here? Because people-centric approach, obviously, you talk about any business, as there is analytics, definitely people are going to come into picture, right? So fundamentally, the people-centric approach is positive. It should be there because it leads to innovative design that helps people, right? Because at the end of the day, it is only people who are going to make use of that or who are going to contribute in that particular business, right? So people-centric approach is definitely very useful, right? Because it actually leads to innovative design and it is going to help people. So it acknowledges that human beings hold the solutions to their own problems, right? And that people are at the heart and soul of every single business or organization. Because without this, there is nothing, right? Customers are going to be people, right? You talk about stakeholders. I can say stakeholders is going to be the general term which can be used for managers, customers, developers, architectures. So whosoever is involved in that business, in general we call them as stakeholders, right? Whosoever is related to that business in some or the other way, we call them as stakeholders. So most of the times you will see people are there. So obviously the people-centric approach is going to be very, very important because everywhere you will see people are involved, right? So that's why the approach should be a people-centric approach. Now, again, the word itself tells you actually what people-centric approach is, because it is going to help you in innovative solutions. It is going to help you to get the solutions according to the need of the people, right? So it should concentrate. So your business should concentrate on solving the problems, right, which people might face, because that's the only ultimate purpose, right? So if and related to that, then we should go and we should try to take the relevant data according to the problem. Okay, and talking about this organizing for social media. So in this case, so uh, organizing for social media. So see, as we talked about in the first unit, that okay, social media is going to play a very, very important role in almost all the businesses. We already discussed why one should have a account on social media and how it is going to help you, right? And which are the different platforms which can be used for connecting with people on social media, and how social media is going to help you to, what we can say, to go and to increase the mm, to increase your area. You go and you try to connect to maximum number of people so that it will help your business to grow in number of ways, right? So this particular thing, organizing for social media, is also one of the most important point here, right? Now, to ensure that your social media presence, including your blogs, including maybe if you're talking about tweets, including tweets, so all those things should be able to help you uh, in getting your business a profit, right? So you should organize that social media in such a way that the ultimate goal should be to increase the number of customers, to increase the business, right? So for that, what you should do is to organize social media. Obviously, one should reassess your social media goals. So if you are a if you are running a business, if you are working in some organization, so one should reassess why you created a social media account, right? Or I can say reassess your social media goals. Why you are present there? Why you have account on social media where you are talking about your business already. So you just need to reassess the social media goals. So consider your overall objective for your social media efforts and specifically you need to reassess the main points why you started with that. So whenever we talk about organizing for social media, this particular point is going to come into picture, right? So you need to determine what you are trying to achieve through the use of social media. Are you looking to build your brand, increase your audience, or drive the sales, or increase the sales, right? So if your social media objectives aren't aligned with those of your business, then you need to modify them, make them as specific as possible, so that you can measure your results appropriately, right? So this should be done, because unless and until you are not clear about why you are on social media and why are you trying to tell people about your business on that social media, obviously it's you are not in the right direction. So that's why reassessment is very very necessary. Why you started with that, right? Obviously there are other points also. For example, you need to evaluate whether your social media audience has changed or not, right? So you need to think about the audience on the social media whenever we are talking about the point like organizing for social media. So obviously you think about the audience. Is the audience same which was there some time before, some months before, some years before? Is it same or is it changing? So you need to evaluate whether your audience on the social media, whether it has changed or not, right? And accordingly you need to go and you need to put the, what you can say, uh, you need to go and you need to put the products which are actually needed by that particular audience, or which are in most demand, right? So we need to think about this particular point also, whether the audience is changing or not. So a social media continues to evolve, we know that, right? There are a lot of changes, and you talk about any social media, it is evolving. That means every time you will go you will see some change as per the need, as per the audience need, right? So that's why I told you social media continues to evolve. Social networks attract different participants. So the participants may belong to different age groups, right? So maybe starting with the age group of 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30, 40, and so on. So it depends what type of audience it is, who can, to whom you can actually attract. So you need to check, is it changing or is it the same? So that evaluation also should be done. So are the participants uh, engaging with your social media, right? The target market you are seeking to reach. If not, do you need to reconsider your target audience, or reassess your social media presence? So just to aim these all things, it's useful to create a social media persona. You need to go and you need to evaluate all those things and check, am I on the right path or not? So these are some of the points which are going to help you to organize social media. Social media should be organized in such a way that the ultimate goal should be to increase the customer base, to increase the profit, to help your business grow. Right? So are we in the correct direction or not? That should always be evaluated, because that's the only purpose. That's why we are trying to understand this particular thing, social media, and we are trying to understand social analytics. So whenever we talk about social media and social analytics, definitely all these points are going to come into picture, right? So what type of audience you have, is it same or not, right? What were your goals, why you actually come up with the social media account? So we'll try to discuss about the remaining points also. There are a lot of points which can come into picture whenever we talk about this particular point, organizing social media. So uh, as I said that it's all these are general points. Definitely even you people might be having different ideas related to all these points, because whenever we talk about social media, it's a very generic term. Many of you are already having an idea, or you know how actually how it works. Uh, you might be having an idea about different businesses, actually how actually they make use of social media to run their businesses, right? So it's a very generic term. We will try to focus more on all these points, and we will try to relate use of social media for all these things, right? So maybe we will continue in the next class, and we will try to finish this particular thing in the next class. And before that, I will try to show you the, what you can say, the difference between that Microsoft Excel and Tableau, so that you should have an idea about how we actually go and how we actually do some hands-on things. on the tools like Tableau. So if some of you might have used that, that's good. If not, I will show it to you how to install it and how to actually make use of that. And it's really easy. Once you see, you'll be, if you are aware about the skill kind of a thing, definitely it's easy for you. Right? Okay, so let me ask you some question. Okay, I will be providing the recording. Yes, Salati, I will be providing the recordings of the lectures. Don't worry, I will send the links in the group. Okay, and some videos which might be helpful for you. I will send the links of those videos also. Is it okay? Yes. I hope. Yeah, I will send the recordings. Okay, so those people who did not send their seat numbers or roll numbers, just send the roll numbers in the chat box fast, and then I will stop you. Okay, so we will meet tomorrow. Those who already sent, so you can drop off. Others, please send your seat numbers and roll numbers in the chat box. That it will be good for me to mark your attendance. Okay, that's it. That's it from my side. Actually, I will stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. I hope everyone has sent. Let me check. Okay, anyone remaining? Okay, okay then I will stop here. Thank you. Thank you.